This is based on a real breakup?
There is a real breakup in my life. I don't know if it's based on it, but the movie comes after the music, so we'd written all the music, and I write music with Dave Darling, a very talented producer, and he's like, you gotta write about the breakup. So once there was a breakup song, there had to be a breakup in the movie.
I'm curious, you've been solo, you've worked with Avery, you've worked with big groups. Do you write differently when working off of other people or yourself? Or like, I'm curious just your writing process as a whole. It seems fascinating.
That's such a fun question. I love having a project going with a collaborator because it's nice, especially post-COVID, it like gets you out of the house. But I tend to write alone. I spend a lot of time like in the woods, in nature, and that's, I think, where my best writing happens.
Wow. I wouldn't have picked you as a solitary. That's hilarious.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm an introverted extrovert.
Oh, that's a beautiful way to say it. Yeah. So let's talk about the music.
Okay.
Did you always have this number of music videos in like the 11, or how did it all come together?
It's so this and the thing that I did before it, Take One Thing Off, are both essentially like my music video budget from this tiny label I'm on. So we have to deliver the music videos. The fact that I made a movie was just like bonus. We did for this fundraise a little bit more money because it was just, I don't think we understood how much bigger a venture features are versus like a digital series. So we were like locked into doing the 11 music videos. I love doing comedy music. I love the music videos in this piece. I would love to do a project without music just to have the like breadth as a writer to get to do that, because it is hard. I mean, and it's nice because it like takes your plot where it needs to go. Like I would not have written Wacky Waivers into a thing by myself. But that's the answer. The music videos all came first.
That's so cool. What do you read? What do you watch? Where's your comedy come from? I'm fascinated.
Yeah, I have a huge sweet tooth for competition reality TV.
Please keep going. Tell me more.
Boy, have I seen, I think, every season now of Below Deck because of my mom. I watch
all the Below Decks, like Mediterranean.
I think I have now seen them. But I also put them on when I do a lot of like building costumes or sets and stuff. So I tend to put it on in the background and like only stop when they're presenting to the judges. So like in Youtopia, like I sewed all the costumes for Hold Your Baby, all the set decoration, a lot of it's fabric hung on walls with cornstarch. So yeah, I put it on in the background. I do sit and watch it a lot. And then like I'm like TV monogamous, so I watched all of The Sopranos over COVID. I watched The Comeback. None of this is modern. What have I watched? Oh, I'm watching The Last of Us right now, which my friend, I didn't know, he was the camera operator on it.
Really?
Yeah.
What a great work. He's doing amazing work.
I know. He's the Steadicam guy.
Wow. On The Last, that's
I know.
No joke. That's a legit movie.
I ran into him at a birthday party, and I didn't know because of COVID.
I want to get back to you building all this stuff because it doesn't look just as simple as you just said. Can you talk about the visual look and color and size and space? There's a lot of different things going on.
Thank you. One of the things I think like the gifts of being indie or being super low budget is that you like have to do that. So for me as a director, production design is a huge part of it, and especially because like my hands are pretty tied on set. I'm directing myself, so production design for me is a huge part of the aesthetic. So it's like you just look. I come from like burlesque and cabaret. We crafty people. So yeah, learning how to execute your own vision, I think, has been a huge gift for being an independent director.
Wow. So how much have you changed because you've had to do it that way as a person, personally?
Oh, well, I definitely have a hard time writing things outside the scope of what I know I can pull off. So now that I'm writing more, so that's like a thing that I'm like, oh, I don't know how we could shoot that. Let's not write it. And it's like, no, you can. Someone else can pull it off. And you're like, oh yeah, that's such a gift. I think a lot of my introvert came out over all this because starting with, for the last 5 or 6 years, I've been writing and editing and production designing these projects. I've spent a ton of time alone, and I kind of dig it. And the other thing that's been nice about it is my friend group has shifted, and now like my producer is one of my best friends, my post producer is one of my best friends, a director I collaborate with. So it's like I feel like I kind of had this nice little indie film nest.
The trajectory is crazy because I mean, like Mary and Jane seems so much bigger, but how do you look back on that? Do you pull from anything back then or no?
Yeah, Mary and Jane.
Because that's freaking hilarious stuff too.
Yeah, thank you. I think, look, everybody wants to be the actor who's like name was at the top of everybody's list and is like turning down projects left and right. That wasn't the name of my game, and that was a little bit disappointing. But I also think what happened after Mary and Jane was as soon as the pilot got picked up, but I knew I had money, I made my first short film called Love in the Last 5 Days, which for a short film was high budget. I became friends with the director of that pilot, the pilot of Mary and Jane, Michael Blyden. His DP that he usually works with is who shot Youtopia. So from then, it just became clear that like I wanted to be calling the shots, and my acting career has done what it wants to do. I think it's a tricky time being I'm queer, which is like all at once very coveted, but sometimes there's like an aesthetic people want that goes along with it. I have so much to say about the way casting is done, so I kind of can't control my acting career, but I can control writing and making things, and I found a really happy home there. Showbiz is like a self-esteem shredder. Everybody I know who's in the biz like low-key hates themselves, and I certainly go through compare and despair all the time because I believe in this industry. Like I think it is kind of cool that we're like, I just want to work more. Like what accountant is like, bring it on. But yeah, I think the big thing that changed, and I switched reps, and now I have a TV show in development. Who knows what'll happen? But I get seen much more as a writer who directs, as opposed to just someone who needs to be fed auditions. I still audition all the time, and I've come close to stuff. It just hasn't been, my number hasn't come up.
I'm curious, as a writer-director, knowing that you've been able to not unearth, but I think to some extent help other talent step up. I love all the people in your other work.
Thank you.
Is it cool to champion others?
Yes.
From that perspective.
Yes, and it's also cool to get to run sets the way I want to run sets, because there's all these stories of the asshole director and all that stuff, and that is valid, sure. Getting to run sets that my sets tend to be very like they have just a different energy on top. So yes, it's been very, very cool. And like, yes, I mean, just the answer is yes. And I hope to get to do that even more. I get bummed out at Hollywood for rewarding the same thing over and over again. I understand why they do. I'm not making stuff that needs to make a lot of money back. I don't need huge international sales. So I get the gift again of getting to cast people that I like working with and that are like down to clown.
How much does it ever get? You bring a lot of yourself into your work, and we get to the benefit of that. How do you view that? Is it hard? Is it difficult? Is it easy?
I think what's hard is, like, I compare it to, like, I have boundaries. They're just further back than a lot of people. I started in, like, burlesque and cabaret, so you're very, like, you touch your audience, you love on them. I think the hardest thing about it is, like, the wall that is there is, like, fully impenetrable. So, like, I've been called intimidating, to which I'm always like, good, it's working, step back. I like myself as a character. I think all of our lives are stories. I like that mine's a fictional one. Yeah. But then I spent a ton of time in the woods alone, so I don't know. Maybe that's what happened.
I love this woods things. I just want you in the woods to be hilarious. It's,
yeah.
I've got to ask out, as far as putting this film into festivals, what was that experience like? And knowing to get into Oxford, what was that like hearing that?
So we submitted to a handful of festivals hoping to get a premiere somewhere, but we weren't sure that this was even a movie because it's weird. We got a premiere at Outfest and we were the runner-up for Best North American Feature.
Jim's great, by the way. I love Jim Farmer.
Thank you. Oh yeah, he's great. And when that happened, we got invited to a bunch of festivals festivals. So the festival run's kind of been an accident. I love film festivals. I love meeting other people who make stuff. Yeah.
I love how it's accidents. You fall into the coolest places, Gadi. Like you don't just walk and end up bad. What's next?
Great.
It's a difficult question.
I have a show in development that's been kicking around since before COVID. We have Cheryl Dunye attached, who's a huge gift to the project. We'll see what happens with that. And then I'm going to Atlantic City to work on a live show for a while with Spiegelworld, which is a big cabaret company. And then in writing. The shift for me has been very much towards writing. I really love it. And then now I think that's like my leg of the relay race. So I'm developing a feature with Sammy Cohen, who's a talented director, friend of mine, and then hopefully putting another half-hour series into development with Carter Covington, who created Faking It and has been like such a huge asset to me of recent years. So yeah, I'm gonna go sing on stage and keep writing it during the day.
Are you hoping to direct some of the things you're writing?
Yeah, I love directing. I think that as a writer and as an actor, I feel really bulletproof. Like any note you give me, even if it's a bad one, like even if it's a network note, I can kind of go, okay, I think this is what they're saying. I'm just a younger director. So it's also difficult. I mean, everything's difficult to break into, right? So for me right now, like choosing to partner with Sammy Cohen, I get to shadow them when they direct my project. So absolutely, I would be honored to be attached as a director. Right now, in order to get things made, it's been super beneficial to attach other directors who also have their vision to it. The other truth of it is, I love writing, directing, and starring in. And it's like a really wonky skill set that like makes my brain happy because it's like, oh, all cylinders firing. But I also think you miss some of that collaboration. It's not lost on me that what someone that you trust brings to your script is really a gift. Courtney Gleason, who produced Youtopia, she had so much to say creatively. And for her as a producer, that's so rare. So I love the collaboration. I mean, you asked if I like to write with people. Yeah. I do, but I like even more to direct something I've written.
Well, it's uplifting. Yeah. I know actors would love to hear that.
Yeah, of course. Well, the big reader, the person who reads everything I write, is an actor, and why she's good at what she does, Catherine McCafferty, is she's an actor, so she can see when I'm like BSing like especially a supporting role. She'll call it out, and so when she reads everything, she approaches it as if I was an actor, would I always know what to play? I do think there's a lot more spillover than we give it credit for, and then that we allow in the industry.
Wow. Lastly, I'd love to just know, when you come to a place like Oxford, do you search for, like, what are you doing when you're not doing this? Like, are you searching for something interesting in town? Like, what did you do today?
Today I have not done much. Today I'm working on a music video for a label mate. So it's very rare for me to spend time in the hotel, but I did today. I love, like, last night I had like an hour-long conversation with a security guard at the theater.
That's why I asked this question. Because of shit like this. Thank you. Keep going.
Yeah, and like heard her talk about everything in the town. I also think I love cities, but I am more and more drawn to places that like have an artistic streak but aren't so embedded in the industry that the money of the industry is real tricky. Like, it's an expensive hobby. A movie costs a lot of money. Even a cheap movie costs a lot of money. It's like when I do my taxes, I'm like, okay, I bought a van, I made movies. That's it. That's all I spent money on. I hate rice and beans. I eat real food, but so yeah, I spend a lot of time in the venues, like sitting in the back and peeking. And I try to watch as much as I can. I'm not good at seeking out, I watch reality TV.
Yeah, Below Deck, quality Below Deck.
Oh my God,
I love Below Deck, so I'm not.
Do you? It's so good.
Mediterranean, adventure.
Yeah, the sailboat's the best. That's my pick. I love Daisy.
What type of rice and what type of beans?
am a real garbage person of eating. I eat like tortilla chips dipped in whatever's around. I don't have an opinion about what kind of rice and what kind of beans. I'll mix rices. I don't care.
Do you like chili with beans or without?
I do with, but I don't eat meat.
You don't have to have meat in your chili. We make vegan chili
without beans. Oh, I see. I'm from Kansas City, so I'll talk about barbecue, but I don't have skin in the chili debate.
Well, we're from Texas, so
okay.
Let's talk about your barbecue. Do you prefer Kansas City?
Yeah, I do, but I haven't had it in forever. I'll occasionally eat barbecue, or when I travel, I'll eat some meat. But I also, not Kansas City style, I put coleslaw on everything. I think coleslaw should go on every sandwich. That's my white woman. I'm like, more mayonnaise, please.
Scout, I want that to be the ender, so it's going to be the ender. Scout, thank you so much.
May you all enjoy emotional moment. May you all have as much mayonnaise as your heart desires, and then some.